Welcome guys to the second episode of United Talk, and if you're new to this show, then I'm just going to tell you what the concept of the show is. And in this episode, basically, I'm going to cover news around with the internal kind of news and coverage of the club itself, and no transfer really, except if they are going out and leaving the club, and in that case I will mention it. And if you're interested in kind of like the transfers, rumours and news, please go and check out the other show called United Transfer Talk, where I'm going to be talking about, like the name, transfer news and stuff like that. So anyway, let's get back to the episode. And today I have 3 stories to cover with you guys, and the first one is to do with Tom Cleverley. As you know, Tom Cleverley had a very promising season at the start, where he played 5 games against the likes of Arsenal, Chelsea, etc., and he done really well. And the combination of him and Anderson really looked to be really promising, and also they look like to be gelling together and producing some great performances, and particularly against the Arsenal one. I know it was a weakened Arsenal team and we won with a ridiculous scoreline of 8-2, but Cleverley and Anderson were really instrumental towards that performance and victory. So Tom Cleverley, 22 years old, he came through the ranks. He's been at the club since he was, I think, 10 or 11, and you can see on MUTV the documentary about him going through the ranks, and how he is one of these players who's been around a long time, like I said, but just never had the chance because he's been on loan so many times. He's been to the likes of Watford, and last season, gone with Wigan. And last season was the first one where he stayed with the club, and unfortunately for Tom Cleverley, he got crocked by Kevin Davies against Bolton, and that really kind of like not ending his season, but really had a massive setback, because he was building, like I said, a great string of performances and regular playing time, but until that injury, his season was disrupted. And he's been coming back for a few games towards the back end of last season, and basically he has come out this week saying that he would like to take part in the Olympics. And I think that this would make sense for Tom Cleverley, because due to the injuries, he missed out on the England place and wasn't even picked for the preliminary squad. So obviously it's a disappointment, but you can't help it if you're injured for most of the season. And he just come out this week saying the Olympics is a once in a lifetime thing, so to be involved would be a massive thing for me, he said. And completely agree. Letting him go on to a international tournament and experiencing that kind of atmosphere, and if they do get somewhere, then perhaps he could help him to develop his mental toughness, and also his technique and ability, obviously gelling with other players and stuff like that. So obviously it will be a good experience for Tom Cleverley, always building his experience in the footballing world. And again, it is at the time when it is the pre-season tour for United, so again would help him in recovery fully from his injuries that he suffered, and perhaps letting him get ready and raring to go when it's the new season. So I think it's only going to be good for Tom Cleverley, getting a head start in pre-season ahead of every other squad member. So Tom Cleverley is likely to go to the Olympics. I'm not sure that he is the first name on the sheet, but what do you guys think of him? I think it will be a good move for Cleverley if he does go to the Olympics. So leave your comment below, guys. The next story I'm going to talk about is to do with, again, 2 of our academy products, and they are the Keane brothers, Michael and William Keane. Michael made his United debut against Aldershot, I think, in the League Cup, and Will made his Premiership debut against Blackburn. Unfortunately, we lost that day, but he did make his debut, and they're both promising players in the reserves. Look to be, very sturdy and very calm in front of goal in Will's case, and also Michael was a great defender. William Keane and received rave reviews from people who have been looked at the reserves, by the amount of goals he scored, and also the way he leads the line by himself, and Paddy Crerand definitely does fancy him to get into the first team in the near future because of his just unique ability to find the back of the net. And like I said in last week's episode, Sir Alex was willing to promote Will Keane to the first team. As you know, Michael Owen and Dimitar Berbatov are likely to leave. In Owen's case, already left, but Will Keane was about to get the promotion to the first team. But it has turned out this week that Steve Keane of Blackburn Rovers, the under-fired manager, has been willing to take both of them on in order to give Blackburn a new dimension in their push for promotion. And from what I'm reading from last week's comments, you guys definitely think that they both need to at least go on loan to definitely a lower league or even a Premier League club, newly promoted side, in order to build up physically and mentally, playing with senior football week in, week out, and see how they deal with that kind of pressure. And I think I definitely agree with you guys where it will be beneficial for both of them to experience that kind of tough, kind of physical challenge of senior football week in, week out, and see how they developed. I mean, it's worked wonders in the past. Like I said, Tom Cleverley, he went to Watford and Wigan, and he has developed very well under the pressure of that kind of workplace, if you like. And the one who definitely stands out for me is Danny Welbeck, because if you remember a few years back before he went to Sunderland, he was tall, definitely tall, but a bit lanky and a bit skinny, and he wasn't able to lead the line very well. But now Danny Welbeck, he's kind of like a physical specimen, if you like. He's one of these unique players who have great body strength and core strength, but also have the speed to beat defenders. So Danny Welbeck has benefited hugely from his experience away at from Old Trafford. So it could do wonders for the Keane brothers, and perhaps they will come back stronger, better players, and ready to promote themselves within the first team. So what do you guys think? Would it be a good move for the Keane brothers? And would you think they have a future at a club? So leave your comment below, guys. The last story I'm going to talk about is Sir Alex Ferguson's future. And last week there was contradicting stories come out about his future at a club, really, because Dave Whelan, the Wigan chairman, he came out saying that Sir Alex will definitely retire next season, and then some close friend of his, Sir Alex Ferguson's friend, says that it was definitely wrong, and it actually has fired up Sir Alex Ferguson again to go for another couple of years. All these reports came on the back of a story that ran in the tabloid newspapers here in the UK, saying that Sir Alex suffered a severe nosebleed, and basically he had to go to hospital just to kind of to be a precaution procedure, really, rather than anything else. And apparently Dave Whelan said that Sir Alex was kind of frightened by it, and perhaps realising that the football is taking more out of him than he first thought. But Sir Alex, like I said, hasn't said anything about it. And later on in the week, a friend of his had come out and said that he spoke to Sir Alex Ferguson and that he's definitely staying on for a couple more years. And I think if anything significant would have to happen, I think Sir Alex might have hinted at a leave. But if you guys saw his news conference or speech at the MUTV Awards night, where they give out trophy for the players and stuff like that, he seemed really fired up, and the last thing on his mind, and also from what I saw of him, is that he wants to retire. I mean, he definitely wants to kind of overcome this challenge of City before he kind of end his dynasty at United. And it'll be a really tough job. I mean, what the greatest manager of all time, and who's gonna follow that up? I might do a video talking about all the possible candidates for you guys, and then leave your comments. And I don't think Sir Alex is gonna retire anytime soon. He definitely will try and overcome City before he even think about retiring. So Sir Alex here to stay for more years. What do you guys thinks of that story, please leave your comment below. So that's it for another episode of United Talk. I hope you like this video, guys. Comment on any of the stories I spoke about, so you know, get involved. A lot of great conversation I'm having with you guys, and I really enjoy that aspect of this kind of channel. Rate, subscribe if you like this content. So again, thanks for your support and kind messages. I really appreciate it, guys. Cheers.